I'm now going to start inking, and I'm using the Mont Blanc Meisterstück. It's a fountain pen by Mont Blanc, and I bought it a long time ago, and I just found this pen, and it's also good for inking. So I'm going to ink this drawing, and it's Cubby the Lion. It's a project I'm working on, and what I want to achieve in this drawing is to ink the fur, and he's backlit a little bit, so on the left side he will be darker, and I just want to see if I can achieve that with this fountain pen. I'm just going to start on the left side, and Cubby the Lion will be a picture book, an interactive picture book, and I'm going to draw it in Procreate, which is one of my favorite drawing apps for iPad, and it's going to be an interactive picture book as well, with sound, narration, and I'm still working on the story, and this is a good way, to practice the character and to, explore more things. And this may be a scene from the book because he's picking berries, because Cubby wants to be a painter and he needs to find colors, and these are red berries, but of course you don't see that because it's all in black and white. I think these are berries from Tanzania, and they're used to make coffee, I think. I find when you ink very fast, you get thinner lines, so I'm just playing around with that. And when you press longer, it will bleed more into the paper. First going to do the outlines. He has a lot of has some cushions on his palm of his hands. And why I work from left to right is because I don't want to smudge the inks. They dry pretty quick, but just to be sure, not to spoil the inking. And I'm doing this real time. I'm not, this is the first video, I'm not speeding up. I'm just keeping it light right now because you can later add more shadows to your inks, but it's quite definite, to be working in inks. You can achieve a lot of different effects with inks by just cross-hatching and following the patterns of your shapes. And it's the same thing I'm going to do with the fur of Cubby the Lion. And this is day 3, and the topic of the prompt list Jake Parker made is collect. So he's collecting some berries. So that's the reference for this drawing. The upper lips are a little bit darker. You can see that in when you um, study lions or cats. So I have a Persian cat, and their lips are have a bit of a black accent. And this is a lion cub, so he has very big hands and big feet, so the proportions aren't right yet, and that's what makes babies cuter, because the proportions are out of balance. He has a white bridge, so I'm just going to keep it very light. And Cubby has dreadlocks. It makes him a little bit different than other lion cubs, and I'm going to use that in the story as well. He has a very brown belly. And when I looked at my other drawings, I could see some influences by T.S. Sullivan. And T.S. Sullivan was a great illustrator, and a lot of Disney artists were inspired by it. When you look at Fantasia, you can see a lot of things back, especially the scenes with the hippos, because T.S. Sullivan made some great illustrations of animals, and he inked everything. And I have an original drawing by him, and he drew very big, and he was very rough in his inks, and I think he used a crown quill pen. Let me see here. It's always hard to talk and draw at the same time. And this week I'm going to use this fountain pen, and I'm also going to use some other techniques as well, inking with brushes, and also going to do some inks on the iPad, because you're allowed to do that as well, as long as you're inking your drawings. That's what Inktober is all about. And to make one ink drawing a day in October. Just now inking the dreadlocks. With this fountain pen you cannot really do thick and thin, so you have to go over the drawing again to make the lines thicker. You know, when you're inking with a crown quill pen, you know, you can apply pressure and have a thicker line. So I'm going to try that next week. And that's a whole different technique altogether. And it's always good, you know, to do some things on paper again, because most of the time I do everything digital, but now I have the chance and to ink on paper and to look for a lot of different things to ink, or different materials to ink with on paper. He's holding a little basket. I think this is going to be a very long video, so because it's all in real time. Also some berries on the ground. Got some problem with my iPhone because I'm recording this with the iPhone. So I thought I taped something, but it really didn't work. So I got a question from Carl Hoder, and he wanted to see my drawings in real time. So Carl, if you're watching this, this is how long it takes to do an ink in real time. And I'm applying some shadows because the light is coming a little bit from the back. So here I created the shadow of Cubby the Lion, and I'm using some cross hatching to get that effect. And here's a little stone, so you have to do the shadow within the shape of the stone as well. I'm also applying it to the basket because on the left it's a little bit darker than on the right side of the basket. And when you do your inks very fast with this fountain pen, you get thinner lines. So I'm trying to play around with that. I'm trying not to overdo it because otherwise your entire drawing will be too black. And here's the little tail. Now I'm going to do the fur of the lion, and I'm trying to get the whiskers in the inks as well. And don't, because they're white, so I have to, paint or ink around them. trying to keep his belly a little bit lighter. I'm afraid it's getting a little bit too dark. But you know, there's no way of correcting it because inks are very definite. Just going to do the background. There's some mountains, and the story takes place in Tanzania, near Lake Manjara. Never been there, but I'm looking at a lot of reference images. To get the feel of the environment. Trying to keep this a little bit lighter because it's in the way in the back. Here's a darker mountain in the back. So this is my drawing for October 3rd, and it's called Collect. That's the prompt list of Inktober, and I'm following the prompt list. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, or let me know what you think, or share it through social media. Drawing is fun, and practice makes perfect. See you next time. Doodles!